Okay, what is up, guys? Good morning. I want to share something. As I was on my morning walk, my conscience was telling me I should share it, and essentially was what started my journey with all of this. See my last video, the growth I've had spiritually, and how I've not removed myself, but have shifted from the trying to help people with food and psoriasis, and going more into the spiritual side just to learn more about myself and remove the overthinking I've had, the problems with not being able to connect with my true self, and actually helping people with what I feel what was meant to do. Food is an aspect because food is important. I'll be able to do good things with food, change my life completely. But it's just, like I've always said, tip of the iceberg. And I want to touch today about how I saw the devil and the process of getting there, and why it's changed me to the person I am today in terms of focusing on this part of my life and just heavily investing in myself and growing myself. So the story started way before. I was always chasing women. I made a whole video about this in terms of where it got me, in terms of my lowest place, because of a bad relationship. And then I ended up, just chasing women for about 2-3 years. It was a self-development thing in the beginning, but I wasn't doing sober. I was doing everything sober, just working on myself. But it soon became lust. I was in the scene long enough. I had experience. I started getting the experience with women I wanted. So I started getting cocky. Ego came in, and ego, ties to lust. So in order to enlarge my ego, I started, looking for more and more experiences with women. So lust, using drugs, alcohol, whatever I needed to feed my ego and show the world that I was the guy that had women. So it became very cheesy and corny at some points, doing things like posting things on social media with me with women, me like called pulling women home. So being able to meet women on the street and just pull them back to my place. And I had videos of me walking with women on the street. It was so bad, looking back at it now. But anyways, that's the point I was at. I met, you say God gave me my angel at that point. If she's watching, she knows who she is. And she helped me discover who I really was. I was playing a facade because of my ego. So I would be one person when I was not going out, but I would be a whole different person when I was, you say on the streets or in the scene, trying to pick up women. I would make this like persona, almost like, I guess like a peacock kind of thing of like, just a different person. And I wasn't being my authentic self, and she saw my authentic self and fell in love with that person and made me find that person and start to fall in love with that person. So I always have love for her and thank her for that, because if I didn't find that, or God didn't give me that, I would still be chasing lust. And who knows, when I met her, I was a very bad place, but I can imagine where I'd be afterwards if I didn't meet her. But anyways, we had a relationship for 2 years. She changed me in so many different ways, and after that she had to leave. So she left. She went to Florida, and that really hurt. In terms of, we always had an agreement that was going to happen, but when it actually happened, it like definitely swept me off my feet. Not swept me off my feet, but just like took the floor from under me. I was really low for a long time, and I was not accepting it or acknowledging it, and I would use women back. So I always think back to a song from The Weeknd that was like not my idol at that time, but someone that I tried to like follow in terms of his lifestyle. And he had a song that goes, After Hours. It talks about like becoming the man I used to be. So when I met her, I was able to find my old self, but then when she left, I went back to that self that she helped me remove myself from. So just got really lost back in lust. Was going back on dating apps, going on dates, thinking, I can just drown the sadness with more women, put more women in the picture, and just rack up numbers and think that was the way. But soon enough I found out that's not the way, and I'll go into it. But essentially, So I was on dating apps for a bit. This was I did this for about 4 or 5 months. So just chasing women, chasing dates. Like, I wanted, more women. And then eventually I had a trip to Argentina. This was December of 2022. So I went there because the World Cup was happening. My family, that's from Argentina. I'm really big, obviously, in soccer. And at that point, it was winter, so I didn't want to experience it in Canada. And I was like, okay, I'm going to go to Argentina. Last time I was there was like 2016. And I was like, okay, I'm going to go there. And I had a good feeling they were going to win. And they did end up winning. And literally that month, people asked me about it, and it was, I can only call it a dream because everything was perfect. It was almost like I was in a movie and I was the main character. And it's almost like nothing could go wrong in that month. Like everything was just picture perfect. But eventually what ended up happening is I ended up meeting somebody there. So the first few weeks I was working there, changed my VPN or whatever it was to go a bit early and work from there. And then I saw it the 3 weeks. So after that week of working, I went out on like a Sunday. And the thing about Argentina is if you're in the West watching this, people stop going, like things close at 2 or 3 a.m. In Argentina, things start at 2 or 3 a.m. So people start going out at 2 a.m. Things end up at like 7 a.m. There's after hours clubs. There's things like that go until like 12 p.m. Like they're crazy for partying. Like they live for the weekend, not like here. Like people think people party here. Argentina is a whole different thing. So that's where I got a whole different perspective of like, I found a new level of a devil, basically. Like, it's the first time I went to a club and stayed up till like 7 and then went out and it was daytime. That never happened in Canada for me. And I was like, this is crazy. So it's almost like God made me find the devil slowly. This was where it started. I was like, okay, this is like a crazy feeling. It almost felt like blissful because I was in a club and they had the doors open because it's summer there. Obviously, it doesn't snow. And you see the light coming in as you're like listening to music. That's where I also fell in love with like house music. I got really into that scene because it's a really big scene over there. But anyways, the day I went out, I think it was like the first day I went out with some people that I met when I was, going out or picking up women. I met a guy, really good contact. He put me in contact with other people that were there, and I went out with them. They ended up leaving early, but I had this tendency to always just go harder than most people, like just push it to like wee hours of the night, be the last man standing essentially. And I don't know, it was a competitive spirit I had, and I was like, I knew that I was there for a very limited time, and I had to like just push myself. And I did this sober. That's one thing that I always did. It was like try to not suffer with it, but make it so I actually grow from the experience. So I did that and ended up meeting my ex. So I didn't think much of the interaction, to be honest. I actually was recording an audio with my friends about the country and how it was. So we had like our group chat, and then I ended up chatting with her on the audio, and I still have that. And yeah, so I got her Instagram, and I didn't think much of it. I was like, okay, it's probably not going to go anywhere. And then she ended up messaging me saying, come to this after hours. So I went there. The after hours started at I went back to my place actually to charge my phone and get some money. And then I went back to, I went to the after hours to meet her. It's a place called Zegre. And it was like the small after hours. It was a good vibe. And I basically met her and her group of friends. And they were in a booth, and then I didn't drink, so the first thing she offered me was drugs. She offered me like the ecstasy, the pill, and I've never done that. Over here in Canada, it's always like the Molly and stuff like that. We're into drugs right now. If my family's watching, this is my authentic share here. And I asked friends, and then they weren't responding, so I just took the risk and took it. And obviously we're both feeling good. We ended up, kissing and stuff like that. And then my thing was always trying to seal the deal as fast as possible, because I was always aware that women had a lot of options, and I saw her as a very attractive woman. She was very attractive, and those types of women, they have like time in like 1 week in a hot woman's world is like 1 month in a regular girl's world in terms of how many options they have, how fast things go, and like if you're not able to close things quickly, that doesn't really usually happen. So I set up something for the day after, like a dinner, and when I was there, I already saw signs that things, weren't normal, but I mean, I kind of ignored them because I was still rebounding from my ex at that point, and essentially, I was able to, yeah. So I was able to see. Basically, I saw ketamine for the first time, and I saw someone in a ketamine hold. So basically, your body, you take so much ketamine, which is horse tranquilizer, that I think it removes liquid from your spine. So essentially, this person was like, she was dancing with somebody, but it's like she was basically, it looked like she was dead. I was worried about her. I'm like, you're gonna go home with. She told me she's gonna go home with them. Like, you're gonna go home with these people. I'm gonna get you an Uber. And she said, no, it's okay. This guy's gonna drive my car. I'm like, okay, whatever. This girl might not make it tomorrow, but I went to my place, met her the day after. We went for dinner. I'm gonna try and resume this quickly. And then close the deal. We ended up going to a hotel, and and then slept together, and then she left, and then from that point on, this was like the day before the semifinal. So from that point on, we were just messaging back and forth, building that relationship. The final happened, they won. I wasn't able to celebrate with her, but I ended up seeing her. I left like the 26th or 28th of December, and so there's a whole like scene going on. I left the 26th of December, so a bit after Christmas, and we kept talking. And I mean, she was the one who introduced me to the whole scene. Like I said, the house music scene, I went out with her, a lot of drugs. This was all the devil. I didn't see at the time, but just, late nights, not taking care of my health, drugs. I wasn't drinking. Actually, I think I drank a bit. So that's how consumed I was of like just chasing a feeling. Argentina was, winning. So everyone's energy was going up and up and up. And so was my chase for that feeling of going up and up and up. So like, drugs, alcohol. And then I ended up leaving, and then we were just chatting, and we were still into each other. I thought it was like, something genuine, but I just realized I was chasing that feeling, and we're still not over my other ex. So it was like, it was a rebound, and I was trying to make it into something that it wasn't. So I ended up taking her to New York in February for Valentine's Day. That was actually a good trip in terms of like experience, but I just realized there was no compatibility. But then again, we just, the whole thing was escaping each other's lives. So she was escaping her life in Argentina. I was escaping mine in Canada, and just using drugs, each other, sex, to escape from that. So, we went there for like 10 days. Just more, she ended up bringing drugs from Argentina through airport security. And then we went to like just some events and just experienced New York together. But that's when we started to like get more friction, because we weren't actually learning about each other or asking each other, about our lives. It was just basically just using each other, I think, for that feeling of like, okay, this is someone I can like escape with almost, right? And then February, and then, that happened. And April, I went to go visit her for her birthday. So I spent a couple $1,000 that I shouldn't have, to chase this feeling. So this is, me already chasing, not with myself, but with like using money to overspend and spend time with this person. And essentially what ended up happening in April was, it was her birthday, but she could sense that I wasn't that person. I was chasing her validation at that point. Like, I was getting overly jealous. She would go out a lot, extensively. She would post a lot on Instagram, like provocatively. And that was something I wasn't used to, especially in the West. She had a lot of male friends as well. That's not something I'm used to in the West. Male friends are not something women have usually. And over there in South America, it's very normal. So I was getting a culture shock in that aspect. And I had to like basically, I was trying to tolerate it, but like the ego part of me just wouldn't let it. So I was just always making a scene and like just being that jealous boyfriend. And then eventually when I got there in April, things just kind of started collapsing. So it was still the same lifestyle, but it just got worse to the point where, we're almost not escaping each other's world, but almost just trying to escape each other. So I remember a lot of things happening of like, Sorry, there's more people biking here. So I ended up going there for a birthday, but my self-perspective was so low, just of like losing myself, that when I was there, I lost full control of the relationship and also myself. I remember bringing her gifts, and we got in a fight. She was just reflecting all the lack of confidence I had in myself. I was just so low and chasing a rebound to try to make it work, that I was going crazy. And yeah, she just ended up, reflecting back the lack of confidence I had. We had so many fights, just lack of respect coming from her, which is lack of respect for myself of chasing somebody, and basically not being the person I was when she met me, but also that person was also chasing, the actual genuine love that I found and lost with somebody else. So the devil was using my ego or chasing to, try to find that feeling back. So like I said, it just got worse and worse. I remember one night, like I said, everything was up till 7 a.m. So if you go to Argentina, you're staying up till 7 a.m. And that's like every night. And I did that one Saturday. I remember like this huge wave of like shame that I never felt before. I explained this to my coach. He's the only one who understands. And that was when my conscience spoke to me. That was the first time it spoke to me. And I realized, okay, there's something here. Like I thought I could live this life forever of just like women, drugs, whatever it was. But that's when I went out and it was 7 a.m. and I walked outside and it's like, if I felt like I'd rather be, I don't know, it's the worst feeling in the world. It just feels like, it's almost like you're disgusted with your own like presence and like life. And I was like the biggest like wave of shame I ever felt. And the thing was, it was my idea to go out because I was still trying to escape and, following the devil. But then God came in and said like, Daniel, what the fuck are you, like, he just gave me this like huge, overwhelming, like, disgust for my conscience. I'm like, okay, I can't, this is like strike one. So then I'm like, I can't feel this again. And I remember just like getting the Uber back and she's like, what's wrong? And I was just like, I couldn't look at anybody. I couldn't look at even myself. And I just went to bed. And like, the thing is, you wake up at 4 p.m. the next day, so you lose that whole day. And you're not working out, and you have to it's bad. So anyways, that happened. That was like one of the days. This was in like another 10-day trip in April. And then when I saw the devil, I remember this like it was yesterday. We went to a club for her birthday and got like a booth, and then that was okay. But then we went another time like a few days after, and I remember her circle, I stood by them because they were really nice to me. She had like a financially successful person in her circle that would pay for everything, and I guess I was trying to get closer to him unconsciously because I felt this lack of like finances. So everything that you lack, you try to chase, or you lack internally, you try to chase. So I was trying to like build a relationship with him, and then I got along with another friend of hers that was in the gym. Really nice guy actually, but essentially, the whole thing was everyone was escaping. Everyone, had a life on the outside, but then you look behind the curtain and they're just, doing ketamine. Like I go to like a party at a condominium because this guy was a millionaire, so he had like various properties, and one was in like the nicest part of Argentina. So I went in there, and everyone's like pre-partying, but the pre-partying wasn't like too much drinking. It was ketamine. Ketamine is very big over there, and I remember doing. I ended up doing some. Like, this is how bad it got. Like, I don't remember like the things I tried. So everyone was doing ketamine. I'm like, this is too much. Like at that point, I was like, I'm seeing, like, I can't do this. Like for her, it was normal. And she's like, oh yeah, like it's almost like drinking a shot of tequila, but you're doing ketamine. You're doing drugs at a pre-party, and then you're going to the party, to the house event, the DJ, and then doing more drugs there. And they also had another friend who was basically like, he basically studied like the was like a chemist. Like he knew everything about the drugs, and he was like their dealer. So he would come into the club, bring in all the drugs you wanted. He was like strapped with drugs. It was crazy. I'm like, what the fuck is going on here? The first time I saw someone openly handing out drugs in a club. Like, if that happens here, it's like you're going to jail. Over there, it's like this guy was just like, girls would come to him. Girls knew he was the guy. They would like, and over there, it's like very common to like kiss on the cheek. And that's how you say hi and bye. So like, yeah, your girls would come up and kiss him on the cheek, and then like, he would give him like, some like little balls of like ketamine, give it to their nose, or like if they wanted like ecstasy, we have pills. He had pills with people's faces on. This was like crazy. I was like, this is nothing like Canada. So that's when the devil just was enticing me with this like new lifestyle, right? But anyways, the point was those 3 people were in her life, and then we went to a club. This was a few days after her birthday, and I remember just everyone just being overly loaded with like, ecstasy or whatever it was, and then like just like come down where like the high drops off. And I remember it being very, very, like, imagine you're in a pitch dark club, and anyone's been as a club, the system, like the sound system is just like it's like a low thud, and it's pitch black. It's pitch black, but you see these strobes of lights that are like coming down like with the music, so it's like and then it's like alternating. And I look around and I see everybody. I see the devil. I literally, I feel the devil. I see the devil, and everyone's just escaping like that. I see this one guy just like swaying. He's like he's just like eyes closed. He's not even there. I was with people, but no one was there. And I'm like, this is the devil. Like this was me literally staring at the devil and the rest of what it could have been my life. And I'm like, I have to get the fuck out of here. Like this is not gonna be my life, man. Like, I was not put here to live this. Some people, I don't know how their conscience was able to let them do that. But for me, when I felt that and I saw my life going, like, it was almost like you're at a roller coaster and you're about to go down and you're like right there and you look down. That was the devil. And I'm like, my life's gonna go down very, very fast if I keep this up. So that night, that's like when I had the realization, I'm like, yeah, this is like, I have to end this. This can't go on. Or she has to change or I change. So we left, and then I ended up buying I think I bought some ketamine there. I was so consumed at that point, like just buying drugs was normal for me. This guy was the chemist. I believed him. He said, oh, it's not neurotoxic. It's not going to like hurt your brain like other drugs like cocaine and all this stuff like that. I'm okay, whatever. I trusted him. He's genuine guy. He just was in the wrong field. He's a very super smart guy, but just applying it to the wrong things. So I bought some, and then I remember she was so consumed. I didn't finish it. I gave it to her, and I remember her doing it in front of me. And when you're a man and you're in a relationship with somebody, obviously you have the thought, if things are going well, of like her being the future mother of your children. I thought things were, in my lost, confused head, things were going well, and this could potentially be somebody. But then when I saw that, it just gave me more disgust, and I just saw her like consuming the ketamine in front of me, like way past hours, like when you should be, trying to recover and go home. And I'm like, this is not the mother of my children. This is not the person I have to be with. So, I took her home. At that point, everything's already toxic. Like we weren't even getting along. I remember the day before I left, I think we got in a fight. I ended up like getting emotional about things, and like, yeah, we had a huge argument. I think we broke up. And she sent me a bunch of audios, and like we were both chasing, right? So we didn't have a stability within ourselves. And then, even then, that's how consumed I was and how lost I was in chasing this love or this rebound, or this love that I lost to this rebound, I call it, because I wasn't over my other ex. That my plan, even after all of this, even after us not getting along, all this drug consumption, all this stuff I saw, my plan was to bring her to Canada and sponsor her. So I wasn't making enough financially to even sponsor myself the way I wanted to, but I was going to bring someone else from another country for 6 months, sponsor them, meaning I pay for all their expenses, where they stay, how they eat. They're not eligible to work, so you can't work for 6 months legally. She was saying, I'll work under the table, but I still had that burden of like doing that. So that was pre-planned when I went there. I went there in April to see her, so that was like already in talks. And then when I got back, that was something we were planning to finalize. But then everything just started adding up, and then my conscience told me like, it's not the person. Like she still was going out, provocatively in clothes, like dressing up, trying to get attention from social media, like not answering her phone at some points. And like when you're in a long distance relationship, it's just basically your relationship is your phone. I'm gonna bring this person for 6 months. Like, I'm gonna like risk my financial position just for her to like maybe keep up this shit or whatever else she was doing. So I ended up breaking up with her like 2 days or a day before she was supposed to meet the person, like the the not the like the person that just helps to like finalize the sponsorship. Anyways, she was supposed to meet the day after, and then I just broke things off. I remember like it was yesterday, and I just went to the gym, and she would just give me all this stuff of like, you never believed in me, you're always doubting me, all this stuff. And this is just like, women are a mirror. It's just reflecting back, what I was, things about myself. And then after that, that was like when I began to invest heavily in myself, and that was like my rebirth and my retransformation of like, okay, this is the last straw. Like when I saw the devil that time, I'm like, this is done. Like no amount of girls or no attractive woman or no drug or no experience is gonna make me go back to that, because I knew that was where I was going. That was the path. That was the devil telling me. That was God showing me the devil. Like I said, it's like you're looking down the roller coaster. It's like you being on the roller coaster, but you look down and there's no more tracks. Like, you look down and like you see tracks and you're like, okay, this is where I'm going. Imagine looking down on a roller coaster and you see no tracks and it stops. So you can either go that way or not. And that was what I felt. So I'm like, this is the devil. My life is going nowhere. So I, all the money that I was going to put into her when things broke off, I put into myself. I invested in my mentor, Yados. He helped me realign myself in terms of my habits. So waking up every day before 5 a.m., no vices. So I cut everything: alcohol, drugs, with women, partying, what else? Anything that could be a vice. Started going to the gym twice a day. So I'd work out in the morning and then 2 workouts a day, and then hit like burpees, 100 minimum. And that was like the biggest change for me. I started getting in shape. I started posting on social media, just sharing my progress. And I was able to help a few people with fitness. I got someone down to, she was like, in 3 months, I got her down to 25 pounds. Like she lost 25 pounds with me. So I was able to just realign myself completely and just start serving people and working, getting more spiritual as well. So I started reading, I got a book about scriptures, and then I started reading the Bible, and I've been doing that for the past few months, like every day, reading the Bible in the morning. And like, imagine me going from the person where, a few months prior, almost a year prior, I met Yados in May of 2023. Right now we're in, so it's gonna be a year now, May or June. So a year now. Right now we're ending May. And so I met him. I was also in another network, and the Tate Network, the War Room. But no, that was still me trying to remove the devil. I ended up meeting this, this bus go by. I ended up meeting a good figure. His name is Justin Waller. He helped me see behind the curtain as well, of like how people actually are in real life. It could be like a super humble person, but the whole thing there is just chasing money. And when I met Yados, he saw that I was chasing money. He's like, man, you just want things too fast. You need to slow down, align yourself. And he helped me just, get spiritual and understand where I'm supposed to be. And then that just led me to the coach I have now, Mike. Man, that guy's, he's crazy. He's definitely gonna watch this. But the connection we have, he's my brother in spirit, man, honestly. And he's changed my life so much in 2 weeks. It helped me see more about myself, how I was still chasing or using desires. But essentially, that's why I've become so consumed in this, is because, like I said, I saw the devil. And God is going to present different ways to you if you believe in God, the universe, whatever it is. But that was my awakening in terms of like I said, that's the best description I can get of like, you're on a roller coaster and you look down and there's no tracks. And you see the devil, and I see the devil now in different people in terms of their vices and how they live their life. I could read the energy of people. That's why I can read the energy of women. I was able to, I was reading the energy, but not actually realizing what it was. But now I do. And any woman I meet now, any person, I can read through their vices or how they live, the energy of like the devil in them. And that's one thing that, I've been told by my coach is a superpower. And I guess I've always had that in a way. And like, I've always had like a way to see people before they even speak. And, it's something I guess I turned off by chasing the devil. But anyways, I wanted to share that quickly because, anybody that's watching and is going down that route, God is going to present a moment like that for you. And it's either you listen or you go off the roller coaster with no tracks. And that's the reason why I've been able to apply myself so much to this and see crazy growth in terms of, yeah, what I'm doing now, how I'm helping people, how I'm growing myself spiritually, how I'm removing, all these thoughts of flesh and desire and chasing and, needing something outside of myself, and just getting everything within. All the answers are within you. And it's about, having faith, operating out of fear or overthinking, and just working on that more and more every day. So hope that video helped you. Like I said, it's a brief story of how I saw the devil, and yeah, it's crazy the growth I've had now that I look back. How I was 2 years ago compared to now, it's a completely different person. Just simple things like that. Removing your vices is the biggest one. Waking up at the same time every day. I mean, every day. Like, it's not like, oh, Saturday, Sunday. No, every single day you wake up at the same. Whether you're on vacation, whether you're going to your favorite concert, whether you're able to meet your celebrity, you have to meet a celebrity at 3 a.m., you still wake up at 5. I don't care. There's no excuses. And then, tracking macros is another one as well. That was a huge game changer for me. So tracking macros, all the food you eat, there's no excuse to not do it. No vices, no excuse to not do it. And then workouts twice a day. So you do a workout every day, and then burpees. I cut it down to 1 day a week because I was over-exercising my body, and the psoriasis thing. Too much stress isn't good for the system for psoriasis, but I might go back. I think I'm going to go back because I felt really good and I got super connected. But anyways, the point is, no vices, wake up at the same time, track your macros, and workouts twice a day for your frequency more than anything. Your body will begin to get results, but it's more your frequency. But anyways, share that quickly. Hope you guys liked it. If you're new to the channel, like and subscribe. More videos like this coming, authentic shares of where I'm going. Massive growth. I feel it. Massive. And you guys are going to see how things go. But yeah, hope you guys got some value from it. Like and subscribe. And as always, in the meantime, keep killing it.